And we're back. Episode 4 of Behind the Grind. So we've been playing NL40 for about 40-ish minutes. And oh, sorry. I call it the NL40 a few times a night. It's really NL. No, this is NL40. My bad. This is NL40 because the 40-cent big blind. Might be. I was gonna correct myself to say NL20 because we buy in with the big blind 20 cents, but it's not the BB that we care about. It's the biggest blind. Sorry, the biggest involuntary bet that we put in before the flop. I probably could have called there too, honestly. I do get a little distracted when I discuss these things. And I say two as if like you guys have been listening to me, but that was the previous video. So let's look at this spot here. Give me a second. Jeez. All right. 28-18. We could defend here. We don't have to. It's fine. It's close. It's whatever. This table actually sucks. So either way, we're going to be moving our tables anyway. So it's like the perfect time to kind of start restructuring. You know, if we were to do a quote unquote fish report at this point, we would not get very good marks. So this guy is pretty bad. I think he's probably our target at the moment. On this table, we got nothing in the 3 seats to our right, you know, so fish report right there. He checks, we'll go bet modest. And then, let's see, on this table, we got the 50 right there. That's about it, right? 50. And then, oh, he called. Surprising. Wow. And, maybe. And then on this table here, we're looking at we got a 69er on the 2 to our right. So a couple seats are okay. A couple seats are not so great. Table 1 is by far the worst one. So let's make sure that we get rid of this one first. And we will go from there. We could raise with the king deuce suited from the SB. From the SB. This is a good board to one and done, but like it's great to one and done with 2 people check to you. Like I'll say that. Like one and dunning out of position is very mid. Very mid. Because you're so much easier to float. You're so much easier to float. I only say, and I say one and done too, because this is a good board where like if you have a hand like mine, it's like you just missed it so hard that like some boards you miss, like you know this a board I would have had like backdoor connectivity, but when you miss it that bad, it's just easy to fold, you know, and a lot of people are gonna have hands like that, so that's why it's not a terrible board to see bet once, but you know you typically want to do it under better circumstances. Those circumstances, of course, being one less opponent and being in position would be nice. Like I said, seeing checks is like people treat c-betting like c-betting is like, no, bro, c-betting after checks is way better than / different than c-betting before checks. And it's not because you're in position. It's because the checks represent weakness. So, I mean, of course you have to be in position to get those, but it's not that you got to see them check. It's the fact that they checked, I guess is really what I'm getting at. Like, who cares, like, that you get to determine that their range is weaker now? It's that their range is weaker now. Like, that's really the big difference. All right, so what did we talk about and learn and really focus on in the previous episode? It was really just, you know, being comfortable with playing kind of any limit that you want. You know, like if you're going to play just like the micros, trying to get comfortable with that. If you're going to play higher limits, trying to get comfortable with that, and then still being comfortable playing smaller limits. And why that, of course, is so much easier when things are going wrong. You know, like where if, say we played a whole bunch, you know, of NL40, things were going great, and then we, you know, stop episode 3, start episode 4, and we jump up to 4 NL100 tables, and immediately, you know, you drop 3-4 buy-ins. Like, obviously that hurts so much more, you know? So you kind of want to... That's why I don't mind playing smaller, because if I'm going to take some of these punches, it's like I'd rather get used to getting punched, you know, when I can actually take it. And then maybe I will build up a little bit more tolerance for it when it does happen at the higher stakes. That's my logic. This is my pro small / micro stakes statement, because for so long the games really weren't like playable. You know, the rake was too high and the players just like weren't worth it, really. Like they just weren't that bad, you know, on some of the bigger sites. Whereas, okay, here we're gonna leave right now because just making sure this person, yeah, new player, not worth it. But now we have players that are so bad and the rake is so reasonable that I think that, you know, once again, like if you, I'm not saying this should be your main grind, but if you want to have poker be a big part of your life, instead of being on your phone and grinding, you know, whatever game, or for me, you know, like instead of playing Fortnite or Arc Raiders or whatever, it's like play some micro stakes, bro. Like you're going to learn something and you're going to make some money. Like you can always learn something by playing poker, always. Especially with the hand reveal feature, you know, pay 10 cents, pay 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents. You learn something. Can go like 6x here. It's pretty good. All right, let's check out some. Holy cow, look at the amount of 100 tables. That's wild, dude. This site gives you some good action, bro. All right, fantastic flop. Great opponent. We're just gonna like, we could honestly win their stack in 2 streets. I'm gonna check back flop. We could win their stack in 2 streets if they have an ace. Boop, 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 boop. So we can like let them bluff, let them catch up, this or that, whatever, it doesn't matter. 22-10. Ugh, I was hoping they would be worse with the 50 BB stack. All right, well, let's go with like a modest size bet. They're just representing such unbelievable weakness. Worst river in the world. Worst river in the world. Fold. Fold's my answer. Fold and check? Or just fold? I guess I'll give it to you guys. Just for you guys. I'm like fairly confident. Fairly confident. But just so you can know that I'm not crazy. Alright, he actually knows what he's talking about. I think flat here is actually fine. Honestly, because we're going to be in position to the razor and in position to the target. Can't say no to that. And I think I checked this table 5 times and it wasn't good, so I don't know why I'm checking it again. I should have checked the table number once. Just so I don't click it again, basically. Is this the same table? Dude, there's no way. I'm such a fish. I really am. All right, 691. I can't believe I actually clicked the same table. Because how did I go? Whatever. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Oh my god, dude. What's your stats? I mean, I feel like just compelled. Just compelled to take their money. Like, I mean, are you surprised? Like, in the slightest? Like, even like a tiny bit. Like, is there a smidge of... well, I thought they would have been a good player. If they were a good player, I would honestly think they were a troll, too. Oh, yeah, let me take this seat. If they did have good stats, I would expect them to be a troll. But, like, how shocking. All right, so what do we got to our left? That's really all we are... most concerned about. So 2 regs, but shorter stacks. Okay, so whatever. Mid, bad, and then this guy's kind of like whatever. I never know with these players. Like, are you good or bad, dude? Like, can you just tell me straight up? You know, are you good or bad? Because this guy's obviously bad, and this guy's obviously like horrific. So this will be our first 100 table of the day. Ooh, and in 2 minutes that tournament starts. I think we're gonna play that tournament. We haven't played the tournament in a minute. The daily whatever. We'll go, I think, just straight 4x. Straight up. You want to go too big. Once again, if we're in cutoff here, I think it's like way better. Check is honestly fine. Feels a little weak, but whatever. Really? With the 16 on my first hand in. 24%. I don't believe him, basically. That's just my logic. I just don't believe him. And that is my hello, folks. I am here at your table. How are you today? Don't believe him. Sorry, I reverted to street poker. It's really hard to not to not just go back to your roots at times. But I don't think the solver would hate that, especially if I node locked it into his PFR. If I node locked it to be like, yo, solver, by the way, 25 or 24% PFR, squeeze position, my very first hand at the table. Like, if I could node lock meta into the solver, I think it would give me the thumbs up. I think it would give me the double check marks, honestly. I really do. I don't know if jam is the double check marks or if a better 4-bet amount, like, you know, like what would a good 4-bet amount be like? When I say better, I mean like just because that's a fish play. What I did right there, like that's pretty fishy. But that's honestly a lot of what I recommended doing earlier at some of these, you know, huge raise games, like where this SPR gets super small. It's like, bro, you got, when you play like a fish, you expose people tremendously. Like, you see how quickly you folded, and people get sick of you doing that, so they call you with bad hands, and that's why I said strong ranges protect this kind of play. So if they truly are exposing themselves, you really are at an equitable advantage to simply chill, wait for good hands. You know, if you know this guy always raises, this guy loves to 3-bet his raise, or this guy raises, he calls, this guy loves to squeeze, yada yada, that's when you pull in the limp, you know, trap raise, like once there's 40 BBs dead money in the pot. And it's like, you don't care what they do at that point when you have jacks. Like, okay, you know, sometimes if they show up with a better hand, like, that's just poker, you know? And then when they fold, it's like, bro, you just won like 30, 40, even 25 BBs with jacks uncontested before the flop. I mean, that's insane. Like, that's awesome to ever have that happen for you. So always look for opportunities when people are just like really, really kind of showing their ass too much, honestly. This sucks right here, bro. 122. Now am I getting 3 to 1? I'm not even getting 3 to 1, bro. I'm just gonna fold. I'm just gonna fold. 120 right here. Now this is a spot we're getting damn near 5 to 1, but I'm still gonna fold because I just play so tight sometimes. I don't know. I could have called there, I guess. It doesn't really matter. These spots too, where it's like, here's another thing too that I talk about that I don't really hear a lot of other people talking about, is like my poker bandwidth, bro. Like, I don't have the bandwidth to play A7 offsuit here, and then also a bunch of really critical spots later, you know? So like, I'm gonna save the smidgen of energy it takes me to play A7 offsuit there, and like, what am I gonna be, dude? Plus or minus 0.1 BB either way, maybe even 0.05 BB, maybe 0.2 at the most, you know? I'm gonna really worry about that when you got freaking, you know, jabroni over here jamming A6 fuck. Like, you really think I'm gonna spend the A7 off here when I mean, this guy punted it off before we could even come close to getting a piece. Oh man, they can't write this stuff better, man. They really can't. Like, this is why some stuff that happens in real life, like, you can't put in a show because it would just be too unrealistic. You can't put the guy sits down and their name is MAGA and they punt their stack off immediately with a 70 VPIP and a 30 PFR. Like, it'd be like, bro, come on. You're just trying to rip on a certain demographic, and that's not cool. You can't do that. This sucks right here, by the way, because I want to flat, but like, flatting sucks. I want to 3-bet. 3-betting sucks. I want to fold. Folding sucks. So I'm going to just fucking, you know why I'm going to fold? Because I'm getting off this table. That's why I'm going to fold, because fuck this shit now. We're done here. We're done here. So get out of here and just leave. Like, we won our one pot because this guy overexposed himself on our very first hand, and that was that. And we're going to take our slight profit and go find a better table. We're actually going to remove pretty much all these tables here. But like, no, it's genuine comedy, bro, how bad these people are. So you just got to give your attention to those guys. Whatever. 13%, or is it 12? 13% PFR is really not what we're looking for when we 3-bet these guys, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ace king offsuit is just too high EV of a hand to let them slide, especially from out of position. Yeah. And then being in later position is going to be effectively there the button too, if I'm kind of looking at this correctly. Like, it looks like the button like wasn't even there, so their range would be pretty wide. I don't begrudgingly 3-bet as if like I ever would call there. I only begrudgingly 3-bet because it's like I would love for their open range, their open PFR to be much larger, you know, so that we can actually extract value from them. 10-7 off is close. These guys are like more viable to 3-bet unit, you know, with the 23% PFR and the 23% PFR. So did I say viable? I meant liable. I meant liable, but you'll know what I meant. All right, so we're gonna close up on, let's see, what's gonna be the next table that we leave. I believe it's actually table, what's our, oof, we do have the 50 right there, so we don't have to leave. That's true. What's everyone else, everywhere else looking like? I mean, this isn't everybody either, honestly. We got right there at 55. They've been growing their stack. That's wild. Stupid name. I guess table 1 again. No, we got a pretty bad player there too. We don't have to leave. We don't have to leave. We can just keep kind of grinding these out until the tables get worse, I would say. Oh, we're leaving table 4. Dummy. Leaving table 4. Dum 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 dum. Gonna go a little grander there. 660. It's better. You don't want to go too small. Give them a price, but you don't want to, what's the word? You don't want to deprive yourself of value. So just click the top up button here. I like to fast roll people, call as fast as possible. I do not like to slow roll people because I think slow rolling is very rude. We've talked about this before, but like, it's just, the only reason why I bring up the slow rolling is because I also purposely go out of my way to fast roll. I think like as a, even if you're not a professional poker player, you should still behave like one. That's like my theory about it. Like, if your goal is to make money from this game by extracting it from fish, on a consistent basis, then you should also act like a professional, like in pretty much every instance possible. Because this game gives a lot. It takes a lot, but it gives more than it takes. A lot more than it takes. So I think to show respect to the game is to show respect to like what you've been given and the opportunity to play poker, honestly. So fast roll people whenever possible. That's my, especially live, bro, especially live. I always like to show my hand whenever I can, is what it is. Sometimes, every time, like we all do get like in some really, really big pots, you know, I've definitely been in some $3,000-$4,000 pots where like I get a little like, I might want to muck, I might want to save face, you know, but like if you got them crushed, if you got the aces, if you got the nuts, bro, fast roll. Okay, fast roll. But like when you get all in with jacks, you know, for some, I remember one hand where I got all in with jacks. Yeah, it was like about a $4,000 pot, you know, because we were both 2K deep. Like I raised, he 3-bets, huge, you know, like I raised like 30 or something. He 3-bets like 140. I call because we're both 2K deep. Flop is jack 8-5, you know, two spades. He bets, I raise, he jams. I and so we get it in. And I didn't immediately show, even though I did have the nuts right then and there, and I felt like a little bad. But when the pots get like super big, I kind of just get like I don't know, a little shell shock. So that's like something that I'm gonna try to get over and like still auto show. Like I'm not saying that I'm in the right. I mean, you're not in the wrong if you don't fast roll people. No, I was talking my stupid ass. We're going to. I actually don't know the play here. I actually don't know the play here. It's either fold or 3-bet. I don't think it's call. I'm gonna look that up in the solver later. Against like a good play, like you know, we're playing like at decent ranges, you know, like now like where you do have to worry about someone squeezing you behind. I'm like, I don't know. Like my default, if you're gonna play the hand, would absolutely be to 3-bet there. Like you can't really flatting is like not an option if you're playing with decent players. But yeah, so I do try to give it the fast roll as often as possible. But I also do, as I mentioned before, get distracted when I am talking, so I should try really hard to not do that. All right, we are going to hyper focus on this table, and I think that if we go fish report real quick, we are actually doing pretty decent on the you know, we got 69, 55, and 50, and the 55 we're direct position to, the 50 we are one seat to the right of, two seats off on the 69 and the 50, and one directly next to the 55 is like pretty good. So it's just this seat here. I think 2.5 is good, but we could easily get 3-bet because, you know, higher stakes. People 3-bet more. This is regular poker again. This is regular poker again. And I'm just gonna let him have it. You know, standard steal attempt is what it is. Definitely harder to open on the button when you have 3 aggressive players behind you, but that's all good. I think you still have to try. I think king that off is definitely in the ranges there. All right, JJ on the button, always nice. 3x from first position, who is a 10% PFR. Disgusting. Call from that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to overexpose ourselves to this player by squeezing to try to extract extra value from them. So it's like basically we're gonna squeeze, hoping that the first player folds. Like and then when they continue, it's like, you know, is what it is. But snap call is interesting. That we can actually play against. It's really the 4-bet that we don't want to continue against. But that's actually fine. And now, honestly, I would kind of prefer it if they didn't call, just to keep this pot manageable. But if they do call, they do call. I think that this flop hits under the guns range more. I feel like they're... I didn't even see that they shoved. And I'm like looking down, like throwing away a hair. And I was going to say, I think it hits under the guns range more because they're the ones who are going to have more... and of course, I have jack, so my range, it does hit because I'm uncapped at the moment. But they have a lot of ace king, ace queen is kind of all I'm really getting at. You know, that I didn't really want the 4-bet pre, but still wanted to call. You know, like you saw how quickly they called. I think they called just because they're like, yeah, I can't fold and I don't want to get all in. Very odd, just like snap auto shove. But I would say ace queen offsuit minimum. I am not going to pay for the reveal. You guys have to take my word for that one. I hope that's not a hard one to comprehend / understand. All right, on table 4, so I don't mess this one up again. Depending on the winner here, so this guy is still in. Okay, cool. Moves over 1, 1, 2. So I think I have 2 more hands, right? The next one and then the one after. Yes, the next one, the one after. Unless someone leaves. That's like what trips me up a lot. Is I'll be like, all right, I'm good to go, and then I'm like looking at another table and thinking that I have another hand, but then someone left in between, like for whatever reason, and then I missed that, and then I get stuck in another round. So we're going to try and not have that happen. This person checked from up front. 2015. Pretty easy to take money from a 2015 one that they've already checked. All right, so yeah, now we leave. Cool. So I like to click the X then fold because I don't forget at that point, and it doesn't actually make you leave the table until you have folded your hand, which is it's a weird feature of this site that I've never seen anywhere else. The site does have some interesting features. Interesting attributes, I guess you could say. What? What's in the pot already? Not a lot. Damn. I was hoping this guy was going to win something decent here, potentially. What's the next? 50. Huh? Okay. Take all that. Take all that. Oh, you actually did call. Interesting. Well, we're just going to bet reasonable and acquire some value from you, sir. Thank you. I'm not feeling this hand right now. This is weird. I don't like that turn card. That's why. I don't like that turn card. They limp called before. They check called before the flop, then they called the flop, and then checked the turn. I'm snap checking back this, bro, but I'm gonna reload before. What do they have, bro? Why don't you raise that, dude? That's so weird to me. Okay. None of that really makes sense, honestly. Like, to not raise pre, then to not bet the flop? Like, so weird. Oh, I guess they don't bet the flop because that would be a donk, right? Okay. That's fair. All right, yeah. So I think hit him with the 4.2. Feels reasonable. Tell them hello. A little. Hi. We're in the cutoff. Hi. But yeah, very peculiar there. All right, this is a weird one here. I think we actually, oh my gosh, I was gonna say, we think we actually have to call given our equity. I think now we like really have to call because I especially think this person's going to probably just call. Like, I don't think they're gonna come back over the top. Like, they're not giving me that vibe. You just have to go with your gut a lot in poker, and they are not giving me the called to back raise, you know, kind of situation. So terrible flop for us. It's gonna check and fold pretty much. You know, if we turn like diamonds, we're not just gonna try to hit, you know, but for the most part, checking and folding. What you got, buddy? Ace king, ace six. GG's. So they were actually one of the better players here, low-key. You want the 58 to get more money. You want the 58 to get more. This is like a silly table, dude. Like how bad everyone is. They made it 2. I actually feel like I can probably cold call here. I think my equity is good enough. Close though. We'll just play it close to the vest. Ooh, the tournament's been going. We're gonna join tournament? I think join tournament is good. This sucks. This sucks, bro. Top tier sucks. I actually think I'm gonna fold top pair here, which is disgusting. But like, what do you? There's no way you're losing to queen 10 when you bet into 3 players, bro. There's just no way. There's just no way. I can't see it. I cannot see it. He bet into 3 players. Let's see it. I'm a fish. I'm a fucking fish, bro. I cannot believe that he would bet into 3 players with middle pair confidently, and it's like I'm just gonna go with it. Cool. Maybe they're tilted, or maybe they just do suck. I've over credited people all day, and that's what it is. All right, $33. Are we gonna buy it? We're gonna buy another 33. Oh, I didn't mark down what time I started my session, which I usually do on my phone, and I will have to mark down how many bullets I buy into this for later. That's fine. I just always write it in a notepad app. I know people like to use like their trackers and this and that, but because I play so many stakes, so many like at once and in different variations, it's hard for me to track all that. So what's this? Okay. This is a mystery bounty tournament. The mystery bounty phase will start at the end of level 14. Top 8 players, final table, will each get a 110 ticket. Yep. Cool. All right, let's do it. I'm down. I haven't played a tournament in like forever, and this will just like keep us at the tables. All right, and yeah, I was happy to learn that there's a 4 table max for cash games. I don't know what the actual site max is, but we'll keep this table like kind of. What's the best way from a viewer perspective? I'm just looking at it from OBS. Maybe I'll just like, keep it like kind of up here, like kind of in the background. Kind of up here in the background. The bounty phase will be set. Late registration still open. The bounty phase will be set once closed. Okay. Oh, got it. So once the late reg ends, that's when, God, I didn't know that late reg ended at 14. That's a very, very late reg. 14. I don't want to click. Oh, it probably doesn't even matter, because if I do click it, I think it'll. I was gonna say, if I click the tile button, it's gonna probably mess the whole layout up. All good. All good, all good. So what do you start with? 8K in chips? You start with 10K, I think, right? Or no? Which is fine. Like, slightly less chips, slightly less playtime. Like, I don't know how to play tournaments anyway, so I don't really like it. Actually, you know, kind of hurts me in a way, because the early stages are my where I have a bigger advantage, given that like I'm used to deep stack play. Like, we're at 100 BB deep right now. Yeah, 100 BB deep. Like, that's good for me, because I can play 100 BB deep, and a lot of people might not be able to. And I don't really know the whole 30, 40, 50, 20 BB strategy very well, and these players might. So I think I'm just gonna take my button. We'll see. See what happens here. I think I get a free button. If I can, then I'd like to take that. Q. And because we took our free button, I think we're going to play it. 650. I think we'll call the ace 3 suited here. I'm not really sure if it's a raise in the solver, but I'm just going to keep it simple. I'll keep it simple here too with the, we'll go with an under ref 1. And we're just going to give it up here. But I'm going to fold first so that we don't actually, I'm sorry, we're going to leave first so that we don't actually, or accidentally. So yeah, the problem here now is, like, once this tournament table is incorporated, I think I'll come back over the top, but not that big. It'd be crazy. Although that big. And then, yeah, so like tiling and such now is going to be awkward. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're just going to, we'll make it work. Good luck to everybody. Standard situation. Basically, we've had like 2 people shove on us, and we've had 2 good pocket pairs, you know, aces and kings, and we called. Riveting stuff. The 4-4 comes through. Wow. We can just do like that. We'll just manually put them in place now, because I would like to keep the what do you call it, the cash games kind of like front and center. Like, the term is just like for fun. The term's just for shits and giggles. It's fun. Ooh, that's right. We're playing 2 blind with ante. Yeah, with ante. Okay, 2 blind with ante. Shitty flop. And I say that like not jokingly, because like you really don't want to flop top set, bro. You want to flop middle set or bottom set. You do not want to flop top set. Top set sucks. But now, I mean, sure, they can have a straight or whatever, but like, fuck it, right? They can also have like a million other things, of which I don't really care to list. I'm just gonna overcall here, because I think that our hand's too good to fold, but not good enough to raise. Gonna fold here. And I'm sorry, where were we on this table? Bueno, no bueno, no bueno. But yeah, having top set blocks top pair, and that's not good when you're trying to get value. I know, right? We're dropping like some real knowledge here. Some crazy things that people have never thought about. Okay, sorry. I will call, because what else am I going to do with the ace? You know, sizing and timing. What do they do on the turn? 5, 6, 7. They bet pretty big. Pretty big. And they raised PFR too, right? Yeah, so I'm just going to fold. We did technically call a raise. Ooh. I mean, it would be like silly to not take the seat. Honestly, it would be, yeah. The goal though is obviously for people to sit at the table. So when maybe it's not obvious, but so I'll explain it. Oh, well, let's them get through this hand first, or you can be playing at the table. No, we still want to explain the concept. So we're playing 3-handed right now. This person has a 56 VPIP. when you look at the numbers, say like an overall total VPIP PFR that you'd want to have when you're playing three-handed, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's probably going to be like maybe in the 30s on the VPIP. Probably not 40s. Probably not 40s. But probably in the 30s, like maybe even like high 30s. So like high 30s compared to like 56. Not that like it's far off, but it's not like super far off compared to say when you play full ring 8-handed. Your PFR is probably supposed to be closer to like the 20s, like low 20s, maybe mid 20s at best. So damn. So what you call it? When you have more players, they're just inherently going to play worse by virtue of like their style. So, and because I have direct position on them, and I'll have which is position 7 out of 8 hands, you want to have position 7 out of 8 hands on someone. You don't want to have position 2 out of 3 hands. Like it's a bigger percentage. What do you got? Oh, brand new to the site. I guess we'll say. I don't think I can barrel. I mean, I can, but it's like then I'd have to go 3, and it's so what's the word? Crude. It's fine. It's fine. It is solver approved. I was a little surprised to see that like every ace from basically every position was solver approved, but whatever. I don't make the computations. I just follow what they say. Ace and king. I think MR is perfect because we haven't raised a single hand yet. Snap call, eh? Snap call. And then we got a brand newbie set down here. I mean, 25 BB is like so small, but still. Actually, I guess they are 50 BB because we only have 3 people. As soon as another person sits down and we get a third blind, it'll be at 25 BB. Alright, so what do you got here? It's cool. I think Minners is fine. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice the third player was in the pot. I did not notice the third player in the pot. Really, really medium spot, bro. Yeah. I actually think I'm gonna check, dude. That's a really mediocre spot. I would love to get a little sizing and timing going on. Like, am I good? I might actually be good here. All right, he checks back, and if he checks twice, he doesn't check twice. He checks once. He only checks once. I'm gonna check here, and then I'm going to call here. It hurts, but I'm gonna call. Yeah, I think I'm like beat by a lot of 2 pairs and such. That's why I didn't want to bet the turn. Oof, that's definitely and such. All right, we are going to put in the. I think I'm just gonna put in the flat. Yes. I might donk some turns into our rivers. Some ones that might check through. I think 880 is fitting. When you have 8-8 betting 880 is like, it's pretty much perfect, Anytime you can tell your opponent exactly what you have through the sizing of your bet, I think you're like you're hitting home. So we're just gonna hope they have a single ace and not 2 pair on the turn, basically. Or we're gonna check call. Duh. I'm such an idiot, bro. I am so stupid, dude. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'll explain in a second. Because if they had a missed draw, of course you want to let them bluff. I'm so dumb, dude. I'm so dumb. Obviously. Can't believe I almost donked. That would have been really, really bad. Would have been really, really bad. Alright, so we got smacked up in the tournament. We got smacked up over here. All good. Some time to get a little smacked up in poker. I mean, that hand in the end there, it's like there's literally nothing you can do because if they have ace, queen, ace, king, even ace 10, they're probably still just going with the hand. So you just, once again, you hope that they didn't have 2 pair in the turn, you hope they had a single pair. And it is what it is. And that's another reason, too, why I think donking turn is fine, is because you will get value from other random aces, like maybe ace X of spades that might have tried to check through you or the opponent, or like say this other guy has like jack 10 offsuit, something of that nature. Sorry, not this hand, like jack 10 or something, or queen jack, or no, maybe not queen jack, or just some draw that doesn't want to fold. We didn't bet that much. We bet like 80% the pot or so, maybe a little bit under that. So I felt pretty good about that hand overall. I feel like just check raising the flop is like super strong, and then check calling is just way easier to keep in the ranges. Like just keeping all the stuff. You don't want to really overrep. Just because if there was a flush draw on the board on the flop, I think check raising is way better. way better because there's so much more that you can rep from a draw perspective. Overcard backdoor draws, the 4-5, the hearts are all good options. So I like a decent sized bet to kind of just start off. So I'm really just staying because this guy's right here and like they seem pretty bad. And I mean, I know they don't like, really have like a ton of money, but like, can win 30 bucks. I don't care if I win 30 bucks at NL10, NL40, and NL100. Like, I want the 30 bucks, dude. I don't care where I win it, you know? It's just easier to win 30 bucks when the guy's got 30 BB overall. Could put out like a little kind of stab. Just a stab, just trying to win. I have the ace. He has the ace. 8 or 9 would be nice. That's actually not a bad card for us. Less aces for him to have. 6%. That's 7 to 1 on our money, bro. Really not bad. 7 to 1 on our money. Now he either missed or he's betting for value. Probably not a 10. What do we think? Probably just an ace, honestly. Like, what am I getting tricky here? What am I getting tricky here? Could be wrong. Trips are hard to have. But it's probably not a 10. My biggest takeaway. People are just so bad at value betting. They really are, man. Like they're easy to value bet the nuts. You know, they'll put in the big bet with the big hand. Easy, but like the big bet with the medium strength hand, you really don't see that very often. Not often enough. I mean, sure, good players like higher stakes, this and that, but like at these micro stakes, no, it's like one of their biggest flaws. In addition to the overcalling and the well, I guess no, that's like the big thing. Is like they overcall and they just don't value bet thin enough. So when they do bet, you typically can just give them respect. Like I've kind of done a lot of this episode and the previous episode where I've over respected a lot of players, but like when the general game plan is to give respect, you know, you just kind of do that several times in a row. And if you lose several times in a row, it is what it is. And I'm just gonna fold here. Unfortunately, fold there, but we will fortunately get the 3-bet on table 1. I think we'll drop it down a little bit. It's very big. Drop it down a smidge. What are your stats? 17. Yep. So you're a regular player and you're just a regular old human being. Well, I mean, they're not like they're like a little fishier, but still, like I'm not gonna give anyone odds to draw. So it's like, hey, if you want to draw with a bad hand, I am. You know, if you want to call like 10-10 here without odds, then by all means, I will probably stack off on a 10 high flop, and you will make like a fair bit of it back. But I still don't think it's gonna net you a profit in the long run. Like for how often you lose the 6 and you or the additional 6 you have to put in, and then just have to check fold. And that's why my typical, you know, strategy is like, yeah, I have like my top of range and I'm just not folding it. Like I'm not playing poker in that instance. Like I'm just gonna play the GTO way of I'm going with my hand because it's a good hand. And yeah, you could have a better hand. Yeah, I could try to read or this or that, but like I'm never gonna fold aces there wrong because I'm never gonna fold aces there. You know, once they call and then the flop comes 10 high, this or that. So it's like it's all good in my mind. Like that's the way easier way to play and the way smarter way to play. Because I used to play the other way. Like the street poker way is, ooh, let me try to outmaneuver this guy, make a big hero fold here, big hero fold. It's like, nah, man. Nah. Forget all that nonsense. Big hand, just get it in. They want to get it in with you. Like the amount of times where I like think, oh my god, they must have the 10. They have like, you know, jacks or queens and they're overplaying it. It's like just unbelievably. Like too many times for me to ever want to fold again. You know? Limp. I think I got honestly over limp here. Brian, it's our first hand at the table? First hand at the table. All right, you 3-bet me last orbit. You're going to 3-bet me this orbit. You don't. Interesting. That must mean last orbit you probably had a decent hand. Top pair, no kicker, but a gutter. Kind of, you know. It's like better than nothing. Yeah. Fast bet. Even though that board shouldn't hit me, it did hit me. So we want to take advantage of that. 2.5 is fine on table 3. And how long are we on this recording? We're getting about 40 minutes again. You know, I'm gonna have to probably cut and get to episode 5 pretty soon. It's Bert. All right, Bert. Well, we're gonna go 2.5 again. We're going to go c-bet. Just modest c-bet amount. Fold here is fine. Fold here is fine. C-bet. Probably 1 is good. Twice is okay here. But it's such a big number, though. Such a big number. I'm actually going to just check back to try and turn some equity. Or, sorry, river some equity. All right, what do we got here? 49, 21, 63 still there, 33, and 34. I'm trying to decide if I really want to keep this table now that we've kind of filled out a little bit more. My position on them isn't direct, but I do have direct position on a 49-17, which is pretty bad. So I think keeping it for the moment is honestly fine. Main reason too is because like we're about to kind of switch episodes around. So like if we're gonna do that, let's do it in like a few minutes. Quick little fish report. 49 on this table. We got a we gotta change this table. We didn't have anything on that table. On this table too, we got nothing. See, this is like, wow. All of our tables went bad, bro. All of our tables went bad, and it's not that we weren't paying attention, it's that we were paying so much attention. I mean, yes, I guess, no, I can't lie. We were not paying attention to that direct fact. It's because we were paying so much attention to all the hands we were playing that people get up and people sit down and we just don't notice, honestly. Oop, my hoodie dropped. My hoodie dropped. All right. KQO, I think flat is probably the best play. Did this person drop back out and then come back in? I believe that's the case. I think flat's fine. I think we're gonna wait until the next. I'll switch episodes from 4 to 5 when we start opening up new tables. But I'd love to play this hand first and see exactly their timing and sizing. 9% PFR is so small. Oh, thank God they checked. It's very good for us. Very good for us when they check the flop. Them betting 370 is fine. That doesn't really represent much of anything. Let's fold here. Cool. I'm going to call here. And then we're just going to see what happens. But yeah, so where was our bad? I think all these tables are like really bad. Every table's bad right now. Cool. That's fine. Really. So only only the PFR folded. That's actually kind of funny. Only the PFR folded. So I'm kind of hoping that they check now back. Like, I'm hoping that that was a stab, effectively, you know? And just a horrible run out, really. You know, nothing we can really do. I think we just have to check and then probably fold. But we could judge sizing and timing yet again. Yet again. Them? Now that's weird. Now that's weird, bro. But what else would they have? Okay. The flop that you called the flop. 2 pair, maybe? Maybe 2 pair. I don't think I'm good. So I'm gonna fold, but I just have no idea what they have, so I'd love to see. They did have the straight. So they had a gut shot with a backdoor. What an innocuous hand, bro. Like, who the hell puts them on deuce 5 of spades? All I could say was that it just didn't feel right in my gut. Like, I just didn't feel like I was good. So sometimes you have to go with the old lizard brain and be like, am I in danger? And if you are, you have to fold. And I mean, I've been wrong a lot today with that. So you just kind of have to take that for what it is. You know, I have folded, like, I folded 2 chops earlier in episode 4, which is wild. Like, in like really weird spots too. Really weird spots. But it's just, some of these hands are what they are. Like, one dude, like, I think I opened up to just like 4x pre, and then this dude like shoves about 90-ish big blinds. And we both had king queen offsuit, and it's like, okay, it's like, what am I gonna do? Start calling 90 big blinds off with king queen off just because one guy shoved one time with it? And then I forget the other spot, but I think it was a we both had king jack offsuit. They raised pre-flop. I flatted out of position. The flop was queen jack X. We went 3 ways, and then it went like check check. I'm sorry, I went check on. I checked again on the turn. The person between us bet. They raised, and I folded, thinking they probably had. The turn was actually a queen. Thinking they had either a turn trips or just like, I don't know, something strong, and they had the queen jack, or the king jack off, the same hand as me, and I was like, huh, I'm just a little surprised that you did it with the second pair, but you know, kind of just is what it is. All right, so we're gonna leave here as well. The table 4, I guess now, whatever you want to call these tables, but it's actually really not horrible. Sorry, it's horrible now. It's horrible that he's at $13. We need him to be at more. So if this person had worse stats, or if this person, because like all I can really do here is flat, dude, with my equity. This is so silly. Such a silly hand. All right, this is gonna be the last hand that we play on this video, and then we're gonna pop it back open for episode 5, because you know we got this tournament going, so we got to keep playing. You know, whereas if I didn't have the tournament going, I'd be like, oh, it's time for me to stop playing. I'll go play some video games or some nonsense or this or that. And it's like, nope, grind, bro, grind, 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 poker, 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 grind, grind, grind. And if I didn't have the tournament going, I would be considering, it's like, all right, maybe it's time to go, you know, go out, go to the Hustler, go to Bicycle, go to Commerce, you know, check out the garden, see what's going on there. Like, just go anywhere and like play some live poker. Think check back is fine. No backdoors to even barrel is just so mediocre. Have had nothing going on this tournament here. We had that one hand with the ace king and blasted off half of our stack. Not blasted off, but like just kind of ran into it, is what it is. Same difference here, bro. It's like, what am I gonna do? Turn bet river? It's like, probably not. Probably not. So I'm just gonna check and give up. I do think that if I overbet this board here, that I might actually get the dub. I'm not gonna, but if I 2x this pot on the river here, I think that no one's gonna call me. That's one of those old school plays that I have a hard time getting out of my system. It's like back in the day, bro, 3 checks from everyone. Like I would never, ever, 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 ever check back. I would always bet 2x pot. And it worked almost always. I'm not gonna lie, it did work almost always. But like I try to not be as ridiculous these days, but like some of that shit really does still just work. It really does. But like that was like an old school trick of mine. It was like one of the few always in pokers. If someone ever bets or someone ever checks you 3 times, bet 2x pot on the river and they will never call you. So yeah. Take that with you today and use it however accordingly you would like. You don't really get people just like checking all the time to you anymore, as often as you did like people just straight giving up. And that's kind of like what it was. Right now people are just so much trickier with their checks. They really are. Especially in the earlier streets, the flop in the turn. If you do get the 3 checks now, it really is still very, very, very weak. And like the amount of time that can withstand to an overbet. And in those spots, like right there, what I'm trying to say is that I didn't bet the flop with a flush draw. I didn't bet the turn with a flush draw. And now my flush came in and I'm betting really big. Like that's what I'm saying right there. And like people will probably believe you. It's like I would have to get through pocket fours. Pocket fours with 2 players to act behind him. Like that's all I had to really worry about. So you can usually get a dub there. All right, we're gonna switch the recording over. And we're gonna be leaving this table too, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I might actually. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a little break and like kind of just play the MTT for a little bit. If I bust soon, I'll be good. But if I come when you guys are gonna see episode 6 anyway. Whenever it happens. So either it happened tonight or it didn't happen. But either you see a tournament in the background or you won't. But I think I'll kind of grind this for a little bit, and then I will either start up episode 6, right? Whatever, 5, 4, 6. I don't care. 5. I don't know. And we will, keep going that way, or I'll just like call it for now and we'll figure it out. But yeah, thank you all, love you all, and we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.